Hello, I'm Kelly Hardy with the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, and I'm going to give you an overview of the national effort, the Towards Zero Deaths National Strategy on Highway Safety. A few questions first. Do you know how many people die in the United States each year in highway fatalities and highway crashes? How about in your state, how many people die in crashes each year? And what should our goal be? What should our vision for highway safety be in the United States? The Nevada DOT has developed a video interviewing people on this issue, how many fatalities they think happen and what they think our goal should be.
I don't know, probably more than 20,000, I would assume.
100,000.
I'm going to say a lot, so probably around, say like 1 million.
400.
75,000?
50,000.
I want to say a couple 100,000.
About 1,000.
Millions. Millions.
Hundreds?
I don't have an idea, but I think it's a lot of people.
Probably about 400,000.
Probably 200,000.
Oh, golly. I think it's maybe around 35,000 these days, something like that. Drunk driving or impaired driving.
Texting and driving.
Inattention.
Distractions. Alcohol.
Alcohol. Alcohol related for sure.
I'd say not paying attention to other people on the road.
Go driving, driving test.
People are irresponsible in driving. They don't pay attention. They have distractions from like cell phones, putting makeup on, to just eating. See, I'm a full-time pedestrian, so because I'm legally blind. So I've almost got hit several times just in the crosswalk just because people are not paying attention when they turn right.
Speeding, no seatbelts, things like that.
I've heard drunken driving and then fatigue are the two big ones, perhaps.
Yeah, not going to happen.
No, not at all. I don't think it's realistic. But I do think that if we work towards reaching that goal, that we will decrease the amount of fatalities.
Absolutely not. This is humanity.
No.
No, not with as many cars and not with, the amount of people here.
Yeah, if people stop using their phones while they're driving.
It's not incredibly likely, but it's always good to strive for perfection.
If we can get it under 1,000, that would be cool.
I would say we could at least cut it in half of what it is now.
I have no idea. 2.
If the number was down to 10, I think that'd be good.
Acceptable would be anything lower than what it is now.
Say maybe 1,000.
I think our goal for fatalities needs to be brought down at least 50% in the next couple of years.
10.
Under 5,000.
Like under 100.
Less than we have now, I suppose.
Okay. 0?
0.
Well, you'd have to say 0 for that.
For my family, personally, 0. That's acceptable for my family.
0.
None.
0.
0. 0.
0.
None.
0.
0.
None.
Oh, obviously we'd hope for 0.
0? Okay.
Yeah.
0.
0. You leave the house, you come back to it at the end of the day, I feel like.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. That'd be great.
Yes.
It should be, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
Great. Yes. I think there should be 0.
I mean, yeah, you have to aim high, I would say.
It should be 0.
That should definitely be the goal. I absolutely agree, yes. That should be the goal, 0 fatalities.
All right, so based on those ideas in that video, we'll go over why do we want to develop a national strategy on highway safety? Why are we doing this? How are we doing it? And then what do we do with it once we're done? This chart shows the highway fatalities over the past few decades in the United States. You can see there have been historic declines in the past few years, but also notice that that number is not at zero. For the 2010 number is not zero. That's still over 30,000 people who lost their lives on our nation's roads in 2010, and the number is a little bit down for 2011, but still far too many people losing their lives. We have had these recent successes in improving highway safety, but we also have some challenges ahead of us too. We have a increase in the number of older drivers and pedestrians on our road. We have an increase in the number of older road users in our country. Also, freight traffic is on the rise. We have increased challenges with distracted and drug driving as well. And then we also have had these successes. The overall fatalities have been down, but there have been increases in fatalities involving large trucks, pedestrians, and motorcycles. So this national strategy is building on the foundations we've already learned in the recent past of working together with our partners to develop multidisciplinary approaches in safety planning. It's also expanding to include a change in safety culture, to change the way we make decisions about how we use the roads, how we walk and drive and ride bikes and are involved in the road. And also from an organizational perspective, how we as highway professionals, as transportation professionals, consider safety in the decisions we make. The development of this national strategy includes a variety of stakeholders, not just from the highway construction and engineering side, but also from the public health, the behavioral side, the emergency medical system, and the enforcement side of things. And the idea is that this national strategy is not developed by any one organization, it's not owned by any one organization, it's for all of us to adopt and implement. So what is this Towards Zero Deaths National Strategy on Highway Safety? It's an effort that's bringing together all of the highway safety stakeholders and using data to identify the national priorities and the key strategies. Where will we get the most impact for the limited funds we have available for making improvements in highway safety? And it's an encouraging and aggressive approach to highway safety. This is based on the ideas that no fatality on our roads is acceptable and that we can eliminate highway fatalities. So why is this Towards Zero Deaths effort being launched? This is basically, we want to build on the recent reductions in highway fatalities we've experienced. We want to keep this trend going. And there's a renewed worldwide focus on highway fatalities as well. This Towards Zero Deaths effort is the U.S.'s contribution to the Decade of Action. And we're also able to build on the lessons learned in the strategic highway safety plans developed by state highway agencies around the country. So who is developing this national strategy on highway safety? There is a steering committee made up of associations that represent the people that own and operate and maintain our nation's roads and that enforce the laws and educate people how to use the roads. We also have federal agencies who are serving as an advisory role. There are two aspects to this national strategy. There is the document defining the strategy and also a marketing and communications plan. The national strategy is pulling together all the information that's been gathered from various stakeholders and developing a list of the prioritized strategies, looking out over 25 years. What are the key things we need to work on in this country to eliminate highway fatalities? And then the marketing communications plan, which is developing the key messages and brand and tools. So in the national strategy, there's the emphasis areas cover basically the world of highway safety. We have the traditional areas. These are traditional from the highway perspective. These are infrastructure, road user behavior, emergency medical services. Then we have what we would, on the highway side at least, call the non-traditional areas, public health and safety culture. These are the injury prevention. Folks have been dealing with highway safety for a while too. There just hasn't been as much interaction between them and the highway side. So this is trying to bring together all these people. There are supporting areas also: data, communications, workforce development, training, and safety planning. The communications plan basically is developing objectives and a time frame for implementing this national strategy, for communicating about it with our partner organizations and agencies. And it has developed key messages also so that as we communicate about this effort, with our partners, our members, our staff, we are providing the same messages. And then also marketing tools. You can see on this slide there the logo and some of the marketing materials that have been developed, what this national effort will look like. Okay, so right now we are finalizing the development of the national strategy, prioritizing the the strategies within the various emphasis areas, and that will involve some more stakeholder outreach in order to make sure that it is a tool that all of the various highway safety stakeholders can use. Then once the document is developed, organizations will start adopting this as a tool they can use to support their highway safety efforts. This will involve communicating with the potential organizations and agencies that can adopt this in order to make sure that the intent of the document is well understood and the use of it, how it can be used. And then implementation planning. Once an organization has adopted this national strategy or this vision, this TCD vision, then what do they do with it? How do they use this to change the way they do business or enhance the way they do things? One thing we'll need to work on is a coalition of all the organizations that have developed, that have adopted this vision. How can we all start working together and communicating with each other and supporting each other's efforts? And so there's also, to develop this national dialogue, there is stakeholder outreach that's needed for all of this. So you can see this document. The idea is not to just develop and have it sit out there, but to continue communicating with people and working towards implementation of it. So potential activities for various stakeholders in the development and adoption phase are providing input to into the development of the national strategy. There's as we're finishing the document, there are last opportunities for providing input into what this document will look like. And then it's also communicating with your members or staff and your safety partners about what this document is, this national strategy is, and what it means, and what you see your organization being able to do with it. And building support among the leadership of your organizations to support adoption and implementation of it, and especially in the newer areas where we haven't worked as much, such as in the safety culture area. And also your organization could adopt a zero-based vision, either a goal of zero fatalities or a vision of towards zero deaths vision. Basically what you're adopting is a comprehensive, aggressive, and multidisciplinary approach to highway safeties. So potential implementation activities for organizations could be promoting this as a resource for staff or member departments, depending on what type of organization you have. This might not make a significant change in the way you do business. It just might provide a few extra ideas of ways you could enhance your highway safety efforts. You could develop a implementation plan on which portions of this national strategy are within your realm of your organization, and how you can work on implementing those parts of it. The marketing and communication activities can help you with these efforts. The marketing and communications tools can help you with these efforts, and then especially with things like strengthening relationships with new partners that you might not have been involved with from the highway safety side before. We also want to monitor what we're doing with the implementation to make sure that we are making the changes we want to make, and also identifying new resources that might be needed to support the effort. So how can we do this? Basically by sharing the common vision of eliminating highway fatalities on all public roads in the country, and building support for this effort at both top leadership levels and at the grassroots level. Building on the success that we've learned, especially in recent history, about what we've been able to do with the multidisciplinary approaches and the safety planning, and using the most effective strategies available. We can also set intermediate goals. We are not, unfortunately, going to be able to eliminate highway fatalities tomorrow, but we do need to set intermediate goals so we can make sure we are working our way there. And by strengthening the partnerships that we've already established, and building new ones in order to have a truly national and a multidisciplinary approach to highway safety. And we also need to make sure we are targeting all aspects of the roads and all road users. There's my contact information if anybody has any questions.